What is happening, everybody? All right, so in this video, I want to give a little bit of advice to you guys that are thinking about jumping in the middle of doing a restoration project. There's so much advice to give, but if I could boil it down to just one phrase, it would be this: know your limitations. So let's start out with the most obvious, which is always budget. First of all, buy the most complete or the best example of whatever vehicle that you're planning on putting back together. This is going to save you a ton of time and potentially a ton of money in the long run. We're talking something that is drivable, that is roadworthy already, something that is actually an automobile is a much better place to start than just a basket case. There's a place for the basket case restorations, but if that's what you're looking at and that's what you're contemplating, then this video really isn't for you. This is for somebody who is really looking more for a car to restore and to build up on their own, typically maybe in their garage with, as a family project. So buy the best example of the vehicle that you can afford and then build upon a solid foundation from there. So budget limitations aren't obviously just limited to the vehicle. It's everything that could possibly be involved with that vehicle. And when you're putting these things together, you have to remember that the labor rates are going to be one of the more expensive budgets that you're going to have to come into terms with when you're looking at putting one of these things together. So what am I talking about? Well, mechanics, upholstery, paint and body, most of those mechanics are going to charge somewhere in the range of around $100 to $130, $140 in some cases per hour. So it's pretty easy to see that small jobs, something that you think, well, that's only like a 5-hour job, well, that could be a $500 or a $600 labor bill that you're going to have to come up with that paper to cover. And because of that, you can see that a bunch of those small jobs, next thing you know, you're $2, $3, $4 grand in just labor costs. And by the way, that hourly rate does not include parts or tax. Just know that coming into the conversation. This is where strict adherence to a budget is extremely important. You start letting that budget slide, and next thing you know, that dream that you had for this restoration may turn into a nightmare. Now, next on this is going to be skill set. We just talked about different mechanics, but a lot of folks like to do this work themselves, myself included. And I've done quite a bit of work on the Sierra myself. In fact, I've bled literally all over that truck. So I think that makes it mine, right? But the reality is that your skill set will have limitations. And this is where proper research into these other teammates that you're going to have along the way, because you really need to think of your mechanic, your upholsterer, your paint guy. All of those guys are going to be a team that is going to work on that vehicle to make your dreams come true. Do your research and make sure that you are not trying to go on the cheap with those mechanics. I can tell you from experience that in this case, you may also be getting what you pay for. Make sure you go with a reputable shop and don't be afraid to ask for references. The big part on this, though, is also time. You need to remember that you're limited in time with the amount of patience that you have. And this is one thing where you really need to be honest. Are you the type of person that doesn't mind working on something on your own, getting your hands dirty, bleeding all over it, like I was just saying earlier? That may not be a joke, by the way. But the reality is that you're going to have your own patience limitations. Be honest with yourself and know that these projects can take a lot of time. In some cases, it's not uncommon for even minor restorations to take over a year or even 2 years before they even are truly roadworthy and safe. Not just are able to be driven. There's a difference between ambulatory and safe. So again, be honest with yourself. And if you are the type that is more into instant gratification, and there's nothing wrong with that, then you may want to go ahead and beef up that budget limitation, raise that up a little bit, and get you something that may already be drivable and running around as it is. Because listen, this is not something that you want to jump into half-heartedly. It's every guy and gal that's ever gotten into this did it because of some emotion. There's an emotional tie to it. There's some nostalgia tied to it. Well, all of that has a cost, and that's something that you need to come to terms with before you start jumping in the middle of one of these things. Hopefully that advice helps you out a little bit. Post up below. Let me know what you guys are working on. Love to hear about your builds. As Sierra is coming along, I will obviously be giving you guys updates. I can't wait for her to get back from her little trip to the spa because just like you guys, I'm limited in my own skill sets, in my own ability to do some of the work on this vehicle. I can't do it. Certainly can't rebuild an automatic transmission. Those things are magic as far as I'm concerned. I don't have the right tools to do some of the jobs anyway, and I also have time limitations that don't allow me unfortunately don't allow me the time to spend on the truck that I would like. I'm getting more into this immediate instant gratification because I want to drive the thing because it's been about 9 months and I would like to actually drive the thing. So I'm just like you, and I wanted to kind of, again, bring you along on the journey, let you know that there's somebody else out there that's feeling just like you about the project that they're working on, and figured I'd share. So again, post up, let me know what you guys are working on. And with that, that is a wrap. We'll catch you on the next update. And that's a wrap. Adios.